Fair use.
What we're witnessing right now is the fact that, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said the other day he's been waiting 40 years to launch this attack. And he finally found an American president in Donald Trump who was stupid enough and reckless enough to do it. The Trump administration has no plan. They've never had a plan. Their rationales shift day to day. They have no end game. What we're witnessing here is an administration that has put American lives at risk. We've lost 7 service members, many more wounded, many civilians killed, Iranian civilians, including school kids. And they can't tell the American people what this is all about. This is making our country less safe. They've taken the lid off Pandora's box and unleashed forces that they have no plan to deal with.
The Iranian government wants to be paid for all the damages that the United States and Israel have done. So the Strait of Hormuz will be closed for some time until some sort of an economic, financial solution is achieved. The days of everybody enjoying cheap oil and Iranians suffering under sanctions, those are over. The new leadership in Iran is not going to accept that type of setting. They have these attacks have resulted in billions of dollars worth of damage in Iran. Iranians will get every single cent out of that damage for that damage before they open the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, the good news is we can't do it. I mean, it's just good news. Pete Hegseth can sit there and take his testosterone and go lift weights and then come out and stare in the mirror at his chiseled Christian Crusader cross-bearing chest and say, we can do this. But even the generals that lie to themselves will say, we can't do this. It will take hundreds of thousands of troops that we don't have. We literally don't have them. It would take logistical sustainability factors that we no longer possess. And it would take a geopolitical reality that has long since passed. We deployed 750,000 troops into the Gulf during Desert Storm. But we did so because the Iraqis didn't oppose our positioning of the troops. We landed at ports that were not under attack. We landed at airports that weren't under attack. We were able to assemble without any opposition and then move up to the battlefront and shape our forces without being maintained. If we try to land anywhere, those airfields will be struck by Iranian drones and missiles. There's no place in the Middle East Iran can't strike, and they've proven that point. There's no port they can't shut down. And how do we get in? I mean, we'd have to go through the Strait of Hormuz. We'd be sunk. Or we have to land our troops, in Israel, move them to Jordan, and then assemble them in Western Iraq, build a logistics base in Western Iraq, which would be hit by Iranian missiles, and then seek to project power through Iraq while the Iraqi people were sitting there letting this happen? No. Saudi Arabia, we land in Western Saudi Arabia, on the same coast that Mecca Medina is. So the Saudis will never object to that. They've never once objected to hundreds of thousands of Americans landing on the soil of Mecca Medina. And then we're supposed to build up, and then what? We go through Kuwait into Iran. The Iraqis tried that once. You sort of punch into a vase, and then you punch into this empty bag, and then you get trapped, sucked in, and you die. And I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face, and I'll say it again, but because people need to understand, war doesn't just happen. It just doesn't just happen. It is an art. It is a science. You have to be prepared to do this. Now, today, we're not trained to do any of that. Nothing. We're going to pull the one unit that could do that, 82nd Airborne, light infantry. And we're going to send them against Iran. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm sorry, paratroopers. You ain't that good. You're really not that good. You can bench press 315 pounds, but you sure as hell can't fight the Iranians on the ground in Iran. They will wipe you out to a man because you've got no sustainability. Where's your heavy weapons? Where's your reinforcement? What happens when you parachute in? All you tough guys that bench press 315 pounds, because Pete Head says that's the model we want. And you run out of ammunition. And now you're in the middle of Iran, out of ammunition, and the Iranians are coming out of the woodwork, you're going to die. Maybe they take you prisoner because they are, after all, humane. So they might take you prisoner. They might not, though, because you've been blowing up their homes, killing their mothers, killing their sisters, killing their brothers, killing their cousins. They might just shoot you on the spot. That's what will happen if we send ground forces in there. We have no chance whatsoever to defeat the Iranians at all. They've been preparing for this fight for 20 years. For 20 years, they've been preparing for this fight. So there will be no ground forces going in. That's just Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth snorting cocaine, smoking dope, or whatever, psychotropic drug they're taking to fantasize this war game that they're playing in their heads. We will not send ground troops into Iraq because we can't.